Hey, hello and welcome to high school basketball. Tonight I've got the man who I ride his shoulders, Alan Waddell, who joins me throughout the football season and helping us out tonight with St. Thomas Aquinas basketball. And Alan, when you look at the brackets and they're broke up, sometimes you're going to get some first-round matchups in girls and boys that are teams that know an awful lot about each other. Case in point, in the girls' bracket, Mandeville and Ponchatoula, Fontainebleau and Ponchatoula played in the first round. Amite and Laranja played in the first round. And here in the boys' matchup, number 4 and number 29, Doyle and St. Thomas. The seeds separate them by a lot, but the scores really say this games are much closer than that.
I don't think there's any doubt, Deke. If you look back at the 2 times these 2 teams played earlier this year, it was a single-digit win by St. Thomas the first time at Doyle, and then the last time here at St. Thomas, again, another competitive ball game. So I think if you're St. Thomas, you're a little bit worried that you drew Doyle, because when you're a number 4 seed and when you have a state championship caliber team like St. Thomas does year in and year out, they live a little bit on the intimidation factor. Well, Doyle's going to come in here and not be intimidated tonight. They know this club. They're not going to be intimidated by St. Thomas.
You'll certainly hear a lot of crowd and a lot of audience in the background. It's going to be packed on the Doyle side. They're here early. The gymnasium started filling up about 6 for a 7 p.m. tip-off. Close in proximity, close in points scored. This is a district rival, and now they're meeting again, and the winner moves on to the state region round, the second round of the playoffs. And when you look at what St. Thomas has done in Earl Golf, they have been solid for now 15, 20 years, this basketball program, and they compete at a high level. Just like speaking to John White, when they don't get to the point where they win it all, it's a disappointment.
There's no doubt, Deke. And, if you talk about Earl Golf, for my money, the best high school basketball coach in the state of Louisiana. What he has done here at St. Thomas has been remarkable. Won those back-to-back state championships a few years ago. He always gets his teams to overachieve. When you look up and down his lineups, he's not going to be running out 6'5", 6'6" guys. He's going to be playing with a lot of guys 6 foot, 5'11", 5'10". But what they're going to do, anytime an Aero Golf team takes the floor, they're going to defend first. They're going to play first-class defense, and that's why they're so good year in and year out.
We'll take a quick time out, and when we come back, we'll get you set and give you tonight's starting lineups. A word from our sponsors. He's Alan Waddell. I'm Deke Bellavia along with Butch Lee. Even on a night that we both got off a little early, we're still covering prep athletics. A good one tonight, St. Thomas and Doyle High School men's basketball, right here on STY. All right, both teams have come onto the court just a few moments away from tonight's tip-off. We'll take a look at tonight's starting roster and lineup for the St. Thomas Aquinas Falcons. You see the Falcons come in with a record of 23-5. Starting tonight, a 6'1" senior, number 5, Kaylin Richardson. A 5'8" sophomore, number 10, Hunter Jabia. 6 foot senior, number 12, Vincent Walker. 6'2" senior, number 13, Julian Brumfield. Also a 5'9" freshman that plays extremely well, Ralph Haynes. And a 6'3" senior, Cody Addison. Head coach, Earl Golf. Assistant coach, Byron Keller. And principal is Jose Becerra. And tonight's lineups and roster for St. Thomas Aquinas is brought to you by the law firm of Cash, Coudrain, and Sandage, proudly supporting STA, St. Thomas Aquinas High School. The attorneys in the law firm at Cash, Coudrain, and Sandage has over 120 years combined experience in the practice of law. The firm represents clients ranging from individuals from all walks of life to large national corporations. Legal representation in Southeast Louisiana and specifically the North Shore region of Lake Pontchartrain. Like us on Facebook at Cash, Coudrain, and Sandage. And visit their office, 106 South Magnolia, across from PJ's in downtown Hammond. Thanks again to all of our wonderful sponsors bringing you the women's game and the men's game. Bill Hood Ford in Hammond. Hood Automotive, everything automotive under one hood. Richard McShann, attorney at law, proudly supporting He and his wife supporting St. Thomas Athletics. Also, Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Daniel Edwards. Florida Parish's Bank. Dr. Michael Fagioni. CI Sports. Spoga Fitness. The Toba Company. Tangipahoa Parish Assessor Junior Matthews. State Representative John Bell Edwards of the 72nd District. Dr. Brett Chason and Cypress Point Surgical Center. Ross Downing Chevrolet. PJ's Coffee, and District Attorney Scott Perilou. And Allen, there's something about a gymnasium that's different from the football field. It doesn't take much noise, but this gym is packed. There's many Doyle fans in the house tonight sporting purple and gold. It's almost like LSU and Alabama out here with these colors. And as I told Butch last night, the smell of gymnasium popcorn. I think we're in store for a pretty exciting game tonight with a very good atmosphere. You'd be hard-pressed in this state to find a 29 versus 4 matchup that'll have more pop and intensity than you would in this one tonight.
I agree with that, Deke. And one thing about it as well is one of the downfalls a lot of time with the playoff system is a lot of times you have teams in the first round having to travel a long way, which means you don't have good crowds in that first round. Well, here tonight we're going to have a great crowd as the Doyle side is already filled up. The St. Thomas side, the home crowd's a little bit late arriving, but they're getting here. Ought to be a great night for high school basketball here in the first round in Class 2A of the state playoffs.
It should be a good one. The winner moves on to the regional round, and forget what has transpired earlier in the season in district play. The one-and-done season, this is a winner-take-all, move on. So the winner of tonight's game gets the ultimate bragging rights and stays alive in the hunt of getting to the Final Four this year. He's Alan Waddell on Deke Bellavia High School Basketball, St. Thomas and Doyle, right here on STY. And on the floor for the visiting Doyle Tigers, number 2, Cody Sibley. Number 3, Cody Kleinpeter. Number 5, Cortez Bell. Also, number 12, Akeem Bell, who's a freshman. And number 25, Tyler Dawsey. 2 freshmen starting. Very impressive, Allen, to be a freshman starting at the varsity level.
Not only that, Deke, but then to make it into the playoffs. You know, when you have 2 guys that are starting that are both young players make the playoffs, that just shows you what type of program they're building at Doyle.
And the tip, controlled by the Falcons. Going to the rack, number 12 has it swatted away. And it's going to be interesting to see, Alan, you know, the first few stages of a basketball game, the nerves are high, settled in. Who can implement what they want to do the soonest in this game? And right now we see a good steal by the Falcons.
Well, I'll tell you, Deke, that just really that's what St. Thomas wants to do. They're going to play in-your-pocket defense. That's what Aero Golf teaches. They're going to turn defense into offense, and right there, that's what we saw St. Thomas do.
So, number 12, Vincent Walker, the 6-foot senior, will go to the line. Nice steal, just inside the mid-court strike. Took it to the rack hard. Had his shot altered, went off the mark, but he was fouled in the attempt of shooting. And anytime, Alan, you know, when you're talking about any type of sports, you want to do the little things. Right. Make your free throws, don't turn the ball over, and try not to have those unforced turnovers that really can kill you, especially in a tight game.
Well, Deke, you know, we're always together. It seems like football season, but we always talk about those programs like Parkview Baptist, John Curtis, that they're so hard to beat when it comes playoff time. St. Thomas is one of those type of teams in basketball because they do all those little things correctly.
They do indeed. So Bell right there for the Rockets, off the mark. St. Thomas going inside the painted area. And again, number 12, Vincent Walker, off to a hot start, Allen. Both buckets for St. Thomas, up 4-0.
Well, the Falcons, what they do is they defend you so hard, they wear you out. I mean, it is so hard just to get the ball inside the lane against the Falcons because they're playing such pressure defense. They wear these other team down emotionally and physically.
Doyle trying to make something happen, and right there, and they're going to say it's off of the Falcons. And just the pressure. You know, let me tell you something. Although you have 3 seniors starting for Doyle and 2 freshmen, and these teams, basically, even if you're a freshman now, you're considered a sophomore because you've been playing all season long. This is an intense atmosphere. I want to tell you, this gym is packed on both sides. This is very intense out here.
There's no doubt. And the thing about it is, you know, even though these 2 teams play during the regular season, some pretty close ball games, when you get into the playoffs, it gets amped up a notch.
Shot is off the mark, but nice rebound there Rockets going inside. It looks like
shot.
Bell taking a shot from the corner. Off the mark, no good. But I tell you what, right there, the freshman, number 5, is playing extremely well. So it's Cortez, excuse me. Down low, he's been able to keep the ball alive by tipping it up and getting it back to him. That's twice we've seen early on.
Well, St. Thomas is not tall by any means, but they do have 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2" in their starting lineup. They do outsize the Doyle Tigers.
St. Thomas contesting every shot. Nice one right there by Doyle. And that is Tyler Dawsey, the freshman, knocking it down, cutting the lead to 4-2, 6 minutes approaching early on. St. Thomas and Doyle high school basketball. The winner moves on to the regional round. And the Doyle Nation has showed up here from Livingston Parish.
Good hands that time by Doyle's defense.
Great job that
time.
time.
Away.
Cody Kleinpeter with a jack. Now he's going to spot up for the 3. Nailed the 3 ball. I can tell you what. And now in basketball, Alan, the way things have changed over the course of times, I used to be one that looked to like who's the big guys. But the way basketball has changed with all these guard sets now,
you better be able to shoot.
It's just as much as athletic as it is height.
There's no doubt.
I mean, that's evident. St. Thomas doesn't have a kid over 6'3", and they're the number 4 seed in the state.
Well, Deke, we talked about this earlier on the broadcast. St. Thomas won back-to-back state championships a few years ago and did not have one player over 6'2". Yeah. So you can win at the highest level, even though when you're not, let's say, tall, so to speak.
Right. And I like Coach Goff. Coach Goff's always gonna have a blazer on, you know. He was Shaka Smart before we knew Shaka Smart.
Correct. Nice cut.
Nice inbound there. Boy, and I tell you what, early on, number 3, Cody Kleinpeter has been solid for the Tigers. Corner shot, pulled down. St. Thomas now going to work it and get some passes in.
Well, we said it, Deke. Doyle's not going to come out here and be intimidated against St. Thomas. They've played them already twice this year. They know what to expect with St. Thomas.
And I guess you have the leisure of still coaching in high school basketball that you don't have that shot clock, which is very important. Off the mark, no good from the corner. And it is St. Thomas trailing 7-4. Back-to-back buckets by Kleinpeter, who's been hot. Another shot. He'd have made that one, Allen. That would have been like the old NBA Jam.
I'll tell you,
he'd have been on fire.
Coach Goff is not going to be happy with the second chance opportunities Doyle's having early in this game, Deke. Several offensive rebounds on the first few possessions.
But I tell you what, you're looking at the Doyle Tigers. Coach Kennedy couldn't ask for a better start right now with a 5-point lead with 3:57 left in his first quarter.
Well, usually the team on the road is just trying to keep the game close at the beginning to let the emotion get out of the building. But Doyle has really come out and been the aggressor here early on. They need a big shot.
Right up 3 from the corner. Oh, from way downtown. That is Kalen Richardson, one of the best players in this district, maybe the district MVP.
Well, when you're in the playoffs, you need your good players to step up and make big shots. And right there, Kalen Richardson with a big 3-point basket right when Doyle was on a big run.
Bell down low, off the mark. Now Kleinpeter working on the left wing, kicks it back out. This is the younger Bell, Akeem Bell, the freshman with ice water in his veins, 12-7 Doyle. Entertaining game here early on. District rivals squaring off for a spot in the regional round of the playoffs. A little too much contact right there. They've been letting them play pretty much early on here, Alan.
Yeah, I like the offensive set there that time by St. Thomas. They want to try to get the ball into the paint. Jebbia hit Richardson on an in cut right there going to the basket, and they'll get a foul call and have an inbound play.
A loose ball there. And nearly picked up. And I tell you what, I'm impressed with the freshman, Akeem Bell. Very impressed.
The stage is not too big. You think sometimes when you come in these type of games, those freshmen might not play that well, might be a little intimidated, but that has not happened here early on.
No doubt about it. So STA, a 5-point deficit, 12-7 here. Under 3 remaining in the first. 3 ball, and that one is good. Number 20, Ralph Haynes. Freshman, though Freshman players stepping up big early on here, Allen.
Yeah, and that was a big-time three-point shot. Probably could have been a foul call on the play. There was some contact after the shot, but you're right. These officiating crews letting them play.
Good job right there pulling down the rebound for St. Thomas's Brumfield. And it's going to be a charge. Look like we have a shaken-up player on this end of the court. And it's the officials. Not a timeout, but the officials giving a young man an opportunity to come off the court, Allen, and let's get a check. I believe that is number 2, and that's Cody Sibley. A little shaken up, but thankfully he walks off under his own power, getting a little breather. And boy, I tell you what, credit Coach Kennedy. He's so far his team has pretty much executed the game plan.
Yeah, and you got to give his defense a lot of credit for getting back on that last possession and drawing that charge.
Shot off the mark.
Another offensive rebound.
Another offensive rebound. This is the elder bell, Cortez bell, and the bells have been ringing early on here. 3-ball from the corner. Shots way off the mark, no good. Rebounded by Kleinpeter. And man, when you have a good ball handler, you can do a lot of things, and Kleinpeter has shown early on, Allen. If you've never seen a young man play, you could tell he can handle the ball well.
I tell you, Deke, we don't have a size on him. I mean, what are you thinking, 5'7", 5'8"? He's a smaller guy,
yeah,
but
maybe.
He is fearless with the basketball.
Shots off the mark, good block out there. Able to pick it up, Brumfield. Scoots it over to the far side. Now 3-ball from the side. Off the mark, no good. The attempt was made by Haynes, just off the mark. 14-10 Doyle clinging to a 4-point lead, 1:20 left here in the first quarter.
I know Coach Goff will not be happy with the way his team is rebounding here early in the ball game, giving Doyle too many opportunities with second chance points, but then they're not getting any second chance opportunities on their end offensively.
Kleinpeter spotting up with the 3. Boy, and he pushes with that left hand. And look at him. You could tell that kid stays in the gym.
St. Thomas has numbers.
Well, they'll call that every time. And what you're going to see in high school basketball, Allen, and a little more in college, but certainly in high school, anytime you step without the basketball, they're going to call a travel. They were very efficient making that call in the girls' game with St. Thomas and Lake Providence.
You know, that call should be made, Deke. You know, too many times at the college and even at the professional level, players get away with that. They get away with too many walks. Well, right here at the high school level, they're going to make sure they watch those traveling calls.
Yeah, it's an unwritten rule in the NBA. You can take 3 steps. Nice pass there. Good move, coast to coast.
Once again, defense turned into offense for St. Thomas.
Yes, indeed. I tell you what, credit Hunter Geber for coming up big as he had somebody draped over the top of him, still able to nail it in with the layup, and a good team ball play right there, giving up with the assist and going to the rack, cutting the lead to 14-12.
Well, when you play good defense, you're always going to stay in the game, and right there St. Thomas used a steal to get down the court and turn it into a transition bucket to really kind of swing the momentum a little bit here at the end of the first quarter.
Good job that time, boy. Give it up for number 20 for STA, Ralph Haynes, working hard. And I tell you what, I don't care what class you're in, that's hard work. Tipping the ball off what is projected to be the offensive player and giving it up to your team, that's a freshman making a senior-like play.
And like I just mentioned, Doyle seemed to have all the momentum, but now a big layup by St. Thomas and now a turnover. St. Thomas has a chance to hold for the final shot here and tie it up or take the lead going in the second quarter and get all the momentum back on their side.
Exactly. Despite not playing their best and taking a good shot from Doyle early in this game, they do have a chance to tie this thing up, or as Allen said, with a 3-ball, could take the lead. There it is, spotted up, open shot, off the mark, and no good. Good rebound down low, and it's going to be a foul. Good job that time by 13, keeping it in the paint, Julian Brumfield. And you know they say in basketball, Allen, you've got to know when to put it down and go back up in that commotion, in that traffic, to draw that 2 shots. Even though you don't make the shot, you're still at the free throw line to get 2. It doesn't matter how you get 2 as long as you get them.
And what I liked about Brumfield right there, he's 6'2", he's got long arms. He kept the ball high. He didn't bring it down and give Doyle an opportunity to steal away from him. Kept the ball high, went right back up and got to the foul line.
Sophomore Jacob Drummond checking in now for the Falcons. To my knowledge, the first substitution that Coach Goff has made here in this first quarter. Both shots are good, so we are tied at 14 apiece with 10 ticks left to play. St. Thomas will use a press here.
Doyle's got to get the ball in.
With a ball handler like Kleinpeter, they do have enough time. Kleinpeter going to the rack, almost, and that's the end of the quarter. So at the end of one, it's St. Thomas 14, Doyle 14. He's Alan Waddell. I'm Deke Bellavia. high school basketball, St. Thomas and Doyle here on WSTY. And start of the second, we're tied at 14 apiece. Thanks so much to PJ's Coffee. On the run, District Attorney Scott Perilou and Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Daniels Edwards. Doyle going to the rack, that's Bell. He's fouled in the act of shooting, so he'll go to the line and shoot 2. So what we've seen early on, Alan, a good surge by Doyle, led by Klein Peter and the Bells, and St. Thomas able to get it way back in there with good hustle plays made. And at the end, making their foul shot. St. Thomas made all of their free throws in the first quarter.
And right there, Doyle misses their first foul shot of the ball game. But, Dick, if you remember how this game started, Doyle turned the ball over on their first 3 possessions and then regained the momentum and took the lead. But St. Thomas tied it up before the end of this first quarter.
Bale making 1 of 2 to give his team a 15-14 lead. Nice ball fake. Ooh, got away with a step there. Now going to try to work a little motion.
One thing about a St. Thomas
offense. Good job inside. Oh, and a nice block that time. Oh, but still able to follow through. Give it up to Ralph Haynes, the freshman. Man, if he was a senior, he might have thought twice. But with the freshman, he said, let him have it. Even though he got blocked, he kept his composure and went all the way to the rack. Here's a 3-on-2 break, giving it up. Haynes again. And he's on fire, and the Falcons, just like that, a 4-0 run, up 18-15. Nice job by St. Thomas right there.
Deke, I've watched a lot of St. Thomas basketball over the years. This is my alma mater. This is where I went to school. Coach Goff's teams always seem to do this. You'll be playing along with them, and all of a sudden they'll hit a big run on you. This way, if you're Doyle here, you got to stay in the game. Don't let them hit a 10-0 spurt on you. You got to stay in the game.
I think that was, I can't see it, this jersey over here. I'm not sure if that was Lewis. I think that was Kyle Lewis, the sophomore, that made that block. That was a great play by that young man inside. So St. Thomas on a 4-0 run, 18-15, 6:56 left in the half. Kicking it back out, spotting up for the 3. 3-ball is off the mark. Bell with another rebound.
Another offensive rebound.
He's done a great job with the loose ball rebound. Tie up, and possession arrow goes to the Falcons. Well, I'll tell you what, Alan, I saw some very good young players for the Lady Falcons last night, and just seeing a lot of good young players for both of these teams. So I was just looking in this district for the next couple of years with the young players that Doyle has and the young players St. Thomas has. Both of these teams are going to be competitive for a while.
There's no doubt. And, you know, this district is pretty solid top to bottom. You look at Doyle, they're the 29 seed, and they're playing right with a team that many consider a team that has a chance to get to the state championship game.
Haynes got the basketball, floating it over in the corner. Now St. Thomas.
Nice defense.
Only twice St. Thomas has tried to use the post area. Let's see if that's something that Coach Goff has in his game plan, if he feels better attacking the perimeter. Shot out the mark and no good. This is one area that St. Thomas has to get better at, and that's the loose balls. Good open look there, and just off the mark, missed number 5 for the Falcons. Had a good look, and that was Kaylin Richardson. But the Falcons do retain possession and a timeout by Doyle with 6:14 left, and Doyle down by 3.
Back-to-back possessions. Doyle has a chance at the rim and doesn't finish on a layup, and then St. Thomas comes right back down and doesn't finish a layup as well. If you're going to win in the playoffs, you have to make those easy buckets when you have those opportunities, and both teams squandered some opportunity to score points on those back-to-back possessions.
And certainly want to thank all of tonight's sponsors, Tangipahoa Parish Assessor Junior Matthew. Also, we'd like to thank Spoga Fitness here in Hammond, the Tobler Company, Tangipahoa Parish Assessor again, Junior Matthews, CI Sports, and Dr. Brett Chesson, and Cypress Point Surgical Hospital. Of course, if you're looking for something in sports medicine, you're having problems, or your orthopedics, call Dr. Chesson in Cypress Point Surgical Hospital.
Klein Peter just got clotheslined right there, Dig. He was trying to get open, coming off of a screen, and just got grabbed. So Doyle will keep the ball on the sideline.
Reset it for you, 6-14. St. Thomas 18, Doyle 15. St. Thomas has committed 4 team fouls, Doyle 3 team fouls. And the possession arrow is in favor of Doyle. Klein Peters, sharp ball handler. Going to the rack. Good job that time. Woo! Number 2, and that is Cody Sibley. And he's done a good job creating his own shot off the dribble.
I'll tell you, neither team can get the ball inside. Both teams are playing defense where they're just really sagging in the lane and making the other team shoot from the perimeter. Every time the ball tries to go near the rim, there's a lot of congestion in the paint area.
Also, about Allen, we want to thank Brad McKee and everybody at CrossFit in Hammond. I went over there, and you'd be a lot of the local athletes working out there, and some people that are older than me in there. And Brad has got them. Is
his facility awesome or what?
Man, he's got them fired up. I mean, when you walk in there, you either want to dance or work out. So thanks so much to Brad McKee and everybody over at CrossFit. And all of our sponsors bring St. Thomas basketball. I took off. I had some tests had to be run, and I just found out that St. Thomas and had none of their games covered on local radio or TV. No teams in this area. And we've got 2 teams I think are favored to win state championships, and that's St. Thomas women and certainly Albany. And the St. Thomas boys are the highest ranked seeded team in this area, so I just felt like they deserved a little exposure. 5:46 left to play here in the half. The clock is not running, now it is. 20-17, St. Thomas on top. Pass out to Bell. Trying to create his own shot. And they have been frozen. Good job defensively that time by the Falcons.
Dig it. This team's right now, Doyle's winning the loose ball battle. It seems like every time the ball rolling around, Doyle's been able to grab it, and that's why they've been able to stay in this game.
Addison did a good job coming over from his post spot to freeze up the offensive player, and that's going to be a charge. So St. Thomas gets the basketball. And two ball clubs, Allen, that are well coached and disciplined. You can see that. You haven't seen any really silly fouls. You haven't seen a lot of turnovers. 2 teams that are well coached and 2 teams that are basically nip and tuck right now with St. Thomas on top 20-17.
Well, we all knew what St. Thomas had, Deke. You know, they're a team that every year is a contender. But I'm very impressed with this Doyle team staying in this ballgame. That's a big three-point basket.
Big three-pointer that time by the senior Cody Addison. And Allen, that was a wall that even J.T. Curtis on special teams punt return would appreciate. They had 3 players blocking it off him to get behind the key. Number 5 to the rack for the score, Kaylin Richardson. And the Falcons have opened up an 11-3 quarter to take a 25-17 lead.
Deke, remember earlier in the broadcast I said St. Thomas will go through one of these spurts. You got to watch them. They'll have a 10, 12, 14-point spurt on you, and right now they're right in the middle of one of those. As you're right, they've outscored Doyle 11-3 here in the second quarter, and a good timeout that time on the Doyle coaching staff. Got to keep this game settled down, got to stay in the game.
No question about it. 4:42 left. It's STA 25 and Doyle 17. We want to thank PJ's Coffee, Mr. Robbie and Miss Donna Miller. In the area, when I go get me a cup of coffee, I go to PJ's locations, Thomas Street, University Avenue, and North Oaks Hospital. And also, thanks so much to Mr. Mike Rocker and everybody at H. Rocker Electrical. It's a family business, and they've done it the right way since 1946. Commercial, industrial, oil and gas electrical contractor. The Rocker family, proud supporters of St. Thomas Aquinas Athletics. 4:42 left in the half. It is St. Thomas 25, Doyle 17. The possession now in favor of the visiting Tigers. They have committed 5 team fouls, and St. Thomas has 4 team fouls. So Coach Kennedy needing a timeout right there, Allen, to kind of regroup a little bit. A good run by St. Thomas, as you said, 11-3 thus far in this quarter.
Big shot that time by Doyle, ending the run a little bit there by St. Thomas. But watch a lot of St. Thomas basketball, Deke, and it seems like every game's like this. Kind of stay close, and then they'll just run you out the building. They'll turn that defense into offense and get a lot of transition baskets.
Tyler Dawson stopping the run from St. Thomas, a good bucket, cutting the lead to 6, 25-19 in favor of St. Thomas. St. Thomas has been working that left wing, Allen, a lot.
A lot of their offense is going around the perimeter. Nice drive.
Man.
That was sweet.
All-Star Weekend was last weekend, but the shake and bake butter off the rack, number 12. Man, that was sweet. Vincent Walker. Crossover behind the back in the lane, off the glass with a kiss. That's as sweet as they come, Alan.
Well, Deke, you know the post-up game hasn't really been working for either team, but right there you saw the slashing ability of St. Thomas. Vincent Walker gets to the rack and finishes.
And making them pay with the three-point play. And the Falcons now have opened up their largest lead of the game. That is at 8 and 9, 28-19 with 3:57 left in this half.
14-5 run by the Falcons here in the last 4 minutes.
Shout out to Mark No Good. And I tell you what, who has asserted himself the last few minutes has been Cody Addison for St. Thomas. There's Addison right there. Up and good. Now St. Thomas up by 11. They're matching. This is their largest lead. Bell with the shot. Off the mark, but he is fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot two. And St. Thomas has really done it, Allen, in kind of a sneaky way. It hadn't been just straight 4 here, 5 there, but they've really clamped down on defense on Doyle.
Doyle is skating on very thin ice, Deke. If they're going to stay in this ball game, they got to convert these free throws and figure out a way to get a few stops on defense to stay in this ball game.
And Bell does a good job right there, getting to the free throw line to cut the lead to 10, 30-20. So 15, the sophomore Jacob Drummond checking in for the Falcons. There's Coach Errol Goff here on the near side, yelling out instructions to his Falcons. 9-point cushion now, 3:35 left in this half. St. Thomas on top. Falcons going to work a little motion here. Setting up the screen for the 3-ball. Off the mark is number 10, Hunter Gebbia.
You know, Gebbia is really good from outside, Deke, and that time just the ball slipped out of his hand or something, but just missed everything, and Doyle has a chance to cut this lead down. Offensive rebound.
Shots off the mark, no good, and that's a travel. Yeah. They're going to call it every time in high school basketball. And I tell you what, Alan, I think thus far the officials done a good job.
I think so, too. And I think when you get in the playoffs, Deke, you can't let it get out of hand, but you got to let them play. You don't want to turn this into a foul fest where maybe a good player gets fouled out of the game, but you want to allow them to play the game and let the best team win.
I was at the Amy Bogalusa game earlier this season. It was horrible. The officials completely, it was all on them. They lost control, and then when they got out of control, they came to the side, and they told Coach Cox, who ain't meeting, the coach from Bogalusa, the players have been jawed all night long, and I'm like, okay, but there's been no warning and there's been no technicals.
Right.
It's completely up to the officials to have control, and tonight this crew does have control thus far. Haynes deciding what to do with the basketball. Passes over here to the near wing. Now back up top, going down low. Nice job that time by Bell with the loose ball, kicking it out. And too much physicality that time by an anxious Julian Brumfield. So that'll be the 6th team foul.
The next foul
for
Doyle in the bonus, Deke. And I tell you, that would be big for Doyle if they were able to get some free opportunities at the foul line here late in this first half.
And freeze the clock, you're right.
St. Thomas in your pocket defense.
Good job that time. And I tell you what, 25 for Doyle. Doyle has a lot of young men that are impressive by creating their own shots. I mean, you can see Coach Kennedy's got about 5 or 6 kids that can handle the ball. His guards are smaller, but I want to tell you what, right here, 25 went to the rack, and this is twice he's done that. That's his freshman, Tyler Dawsey. And what he did, Allen, when he got in the lane, he froze everybody, pump fake, and then went up and drew the foul.
Doyle, I mean, that's something you don't see very often, an air ball and a free throw. But I tell you, one thing that's been really impressive is their guards are smaller. But they have not been intimidated, not been backed down to the St. Thomas defense. They continue to attack the rack. Yeah, they've thrown the ball away a few times, but they've also created some nice plays for their offense.
2:34 left. It's St. Thomas 30, Doyle 21. Dawsey making that one, cutting it to 8. Falcons being patient here.
You very rarely see a possession where St. Thomas doesn't get a good shot.
They're certainly impatient working the ball mode here.
But look, everything around the perimeter. Somebody's going to have to cut. Somebody's going to have to drive.
3-ball, off the mark, no good.
Long
Loose
rebound.
ball, good that time by 13, Brumfield. Trying to go down low, off the mark. Went off a foot. Should have been a kickball. He missed that one. But St. Thomas will retain possession with 2:02 left, up by 8.
I think I've said this earlier, but there is so much congestion around the rim. Anytime a ball tries to be fed into the post, it seems like both teams are doing a great job of knocking the ball away.
Now trying to go down low. Good job kicking it back out, spotting up for the 3 from the corner. Off the mark. That's a third air ball from three-point land for St. Thomas.
That's unusual.
Those are good looks they've had. Dawsey with the head fake and the shot. He's off the mark, way off the mark. Good rebound that time by Walker.
That was a very nice job of St. Thomas defender going straight up, not giving a foul.
Walker creating his own shot and is fouled. So that will be the 17th foul for Doyle. Shooting 2, and that was in the act of shooting, the official says. So 30-22. And number 12 at the line, the senior Vincent Walker for the Falcons.
We still have a very competitive game here with 1:36 to play, an 8-point game. This is a crucial 96 seconds to go in the half. Which team can have the momentum going into the locker room is going to be huge in this game.
31-22. And ideally, you'd like to push a double-digit lead if you're St. Thomas. You know, that's where you want to be. You don't have a shot clock, and in this type, I mean, Coach Goff can get into a rotation and run the clock. I mean, you can shorten up a game in high school basketball, Allen, tremendously with that advantage of not having a shot clock.
There's no doubt, especially when you have ball handlers like they have that can keep the ball around the perimeter.
So the Falcons push that cushion back to 10. Shot off the mark. Not sure if number 11,
blocked, but,
Lewis, was trying to pass or to shoot it, but it went out of bounds, air free. No one touched it. So now St. Thomas has it. You got to figure maybe Coach Goff will be patient here and try to work this thing down some.
I agree. And to your point right there, Deke, perfectly, St. Thomas theoretically could hold for the last shot because there is no shot clock in high school basketball.
Exactly. Packed gymnasium here at St. Thomas Aquinas. And that one's going to go out of bounds over to Doyle. Something Coach Goff
was
did
very
not want to
disappointed
have.
about that, Deke. He jumped off the bench. He's going to make some substitutions. Did not like that cross-court pass on the baseline.
Sophomore Julius Ashton checking in for the first time this evening, giving the Falcons some presence down low. Bell with a shot, off the mark. And loose ball picked up by the Falcons. Quick hands, jacking down low. 15 with a shot. Excuse me, got away with a travel. That's another one, but they didn't like to get away with that one.
You see that all the time in college and pro basketball. That's not called, but that is a walk.
You'll never be able to lean in high school basketball, not without putting the ball on the ground. So 46 seconds left. 32-22, the Falcons with a 10-point lead.
Dangerous pass.
Ashton getting his hands on it. Nice job.
Doyle probably should hold for the last shot here, but they're going to go to the rim.
Shots off the mark, tipped their way. There's going to be a loose ball foul, and it's going to be called on Doyle. They're going to say someone was over the back of Ashton, Julius Ashton.
Yeah, it looked like Bell went up and was over the back that time. Nice job by Ashton getting position that time on the block out, and he'll get a chance to step to the line for two easy points to the free throw line.
And it's all about what you do when you're in the game. The ball can never be around you, but you can still do your part. And Ashton blocked out good. He was able to tip one of those balls up and near steal, and then right there, getting position, getting it over the back, and a trip to the free throw line, and making his free throw.
Yeah, here's a guy that really hasn't been in the ball game that much. He goes in late in the first half, does a great job blocking out, then he steps to the line and knocks down free throws. St. Thomas has a lot of quality depth coming off that bench. That's what makes them so good.
Will Rogers and Tyler Dawsey checking in for the Falcons. So Julius Ashton has nailed his first free throw, reminiscent of a young Chuck Barkley, his senior year at Auburn University. Boy, speaking of Charles Barkley, was he giving Alabama hell during the NBA broadcast the other night? He referred to Jay-Z getting a $5 million watch from his wife, Beyonce, and he said, better not go down to Tuscaloosa with that watch.
The round mound of rebound.
That's him. Oh, nice steal right there. Nice jack. And a good job. Number 12, pushing the lead large. Vincent Walker, largest lead for STA at 14. 12 seconds left. And boy, St. Thomas has just 8-point lead just a moment ago, now on a 6-0 run.
I said that, Deke, with 90 seconds left. I said, hey, this is going to be a big 90 seconds, and St. Thomas has put 6 points. Doyle desperately needs a basket going to the locker room.
They do. And they've got an open look, and there's a shot. Off the mark. Got to put it up. It's got a chance. Oh, off the mark and no good. So at the end of one half of play, it is St. Thomas Aquinas 36, Doyle 22. Along with Alan Waddell, I'm Deke Bellavia. High school basketball here locally on WSTY. All right, getting ready to start the second half, where it's Doyle in a hole, 36-22. Vincent Walker led the Falcons with 11 in the first half. Haynes had 7 and Addison had 7. Here we go, start the second half, and Allen here. This is a very dangerous area if you're Doyle and Coach Kennedy right now.
There's no doubt. They're going to have to hit some big shots, Deke, just to stay in this game. There's a big 3-ball that's off the mark, but an offensive rebound. And that's a good start for Doyle out the blocks. But I expect St. Thomas to shorten the game a little bit here in the second half. Extend some of the possessions.
And had an opportunity to speak with Principal Tommy Hodge of Doyle at halftime. He said he's a big fan of the prep football roundup. And I told him, I said, Principal Hodge, I can tell you what, if Doyle ever gets a football team, we'd be there on Friday night. He said, well, that's why I like getting out on Friday nights, because I can go watch everybody play. So a lot of community people in the house tonight with neighboring parishes against each other. But you know, Alan,
we're a fan of that too, huh?
At the end of the day, we all got to live around here together, you know?
That's right. That's right, no doubt about it. And these two schools very close in proximity. Doyle right over at Livingston, and St. Thomas right here in Hammond. A good local rivalry. Two district teams going at it here in the first round of the playoffs. And I'll tell you, if you ask probably anybody in the building, I don't know if anybody expected this game to be this close. Here, if you're looking at a 4 seed versus a 29 seed in small school basketball, a lot of people thought that St. Thomas might run Doyle out the building. But you really got to tip your hat to the Tigers for staying in this game. Remember, this was a 14-14 game at the end of the first quarter.
38-25. 13-point cushion as Doyle trying to cut into that Falcon lead. Shots off the mark, no good. 44. Corey Addison had 7 in the first half, but very active on the boards. And the stat you won't see is the blocking out he did, and also some of the tips for the loose balls, able to keep alive. Nice positioning inside. Vincent Walker right now, and St. Thomas has their largest lead at 15, 40-25.
St. Thomas's length and athleticism is really starting to bother Doyle on defense and offense.
And right now, if you're St. Thomas, you can almost play the sit back and relax type of game. Nice shot there. Doyle probably needs a timeout. Addison, and it's 42-25, a 17-point cushion. This one's getting ugly. Technical right here.
I think so too, Deke. An assistant coach for Doyle flew off the handle.
Either going to be a warning or it's going to be a technical. Warning. So the official, he could have teed him up, but he did give him a warning.
I think it's a good no call on the technical there, Deke. There's a lot of emotion in the building. It's a playoff game. It's still a competitive game at this point. A technical would have doomed Doyle right there.
Yeah. And the official was a little lenient because the coach did sit down. He wasn't over the top with it. Very, very, very gray area here for Doyle, down 17 points. Bell in the corner. Shots in and good, and they needed that one. They needed some more, but they had to stop the bleeding.
They got to get some stops, Deke. And right now, that's
too easy for St. Thomas.
The athleticism is taking over for St. Thomas. They're getting the ball inside and it's taking it right up.
You're not going to get back in it wishing and shooting a long ball. It's going to have to start on the defensive end. That's where it's going to have to start. And St. Thomas has really had their way since midway in that second quarter.
A guy who started the game out strong for Doyle was Kleinpeter. Haven't seen much of him since the first quarter.
No. Bell has been active, though, keeping his team with a puncher's chance right there, catching a loose ball and going to the rack and coming up with a shot attempt that will be at the line shooting 2.
To put this in perspective, Deke, at one point in the first quarter, Doyle led this game 14-10. So St. Thomas has outscored them 30-18 since that point.
And Allen Waddell
34-18, I'm sorry.
Did get some of his math here from STA.
Yeah.
Proud graduate. Haynes passing it back out. The STA now can just work and get the shot that they want. They have that much cushion to where they can take any shot that they like. Pull it back down, pass it several times. And like I said, that's the luxury of not having that shot clock in high school basketball.
That's a stop, though, for Doyle, though. Now they have to convert on the offensive end.
Off the mark. And a nice job that time. But just off the mark was Kleinpeter. And a block by Bell. And that will send number 12, Vincent Walker, the leading scorer in the game, to the line. He had 11 in the first half.
Dick, you know, in high school basketball, it's so impressive for what St. Thomas does, the way they can get the ball down the floor in such a hurry. If you don't sprint back defensively, St. Thomas is making a layup because they're able to get the ball down the floor, not dribbling, but passing it long way down the court.
Walker with another shot, 45-28, 4:52 remaining here in this third quarter. Shot up and good, so off the mark rather, 45-28 still the point. And let me tell you something about sports. If you look for a call, you're not going to get it.
Oh, there's no doubt.
That always happens. And one?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they called
a call yet.
Charge. They called a charge.
Call a charge.
I tell you, St. Thomas thought it was a basket. They're all lined up waiting for the free throw tip.
Yeah.
But they called a charge right there.
Thanks again to CrossFit of Hammond, Mr. Brad McKee. Also, District Attorney in the Tri-Parish area, Scott Perlew, and the law firm of Cash, Coudrain, and Sanders. And I saw Mr. Andre Coudrain earlier. And if there's another attorney that dresses sharper than him, I don't know.
Sporting the bow tie.
I'm a big fan of the bow tie. Yes, I am. Shot up and good, so Doyle on a 3-0 run here, cut this 18-point lead to 15 now, 45-30. Ashton down low, trying to make something happen. That's an up and down.
They're going to call a jump ball.
They'll call a jump on that. Boy, you got to like the way Coach Earl Goff has kept control of his players. They stay in rhythm. It's easy, Alan, to get caught up in the intensity in the game. But it's the team that can keep their composure and stay poised, and that's what St. Thomas has done.
Deke, Errol Goff is constantly coaching the entire game, but it's not only the way he coaches during a game, it's the way they prepare in the offseason. The offseason program he has here at St. Thomas, they breed winning from the moment they step on campus here at St. Thomas.
And St. Thomas working a little clock here. That's 30 seconds they've taken off on this possession alone. Looks like Addison's going to take a shot. That one's off the mark and no good. And coach did not like that shot. That was 44 Cody Addison, who has played very well this evening.
It's a big shot.
Big shot. Big three ball. Big three ball that time by number 20.
6-0 run by Doyle.
Tyler Dawsey, the freshman, playing extremely well. Big shot right there.
But, Dick, like we said earlier, it's not how many you score on the offensive end. You got to get stops on defense. And so last couple possessions, Doyle has turned St. Thomas away. Look for St. Thomas to move the ball around the perimeter and get a good quality shot on this possession.
Haynes thinks about it but pulls it down. 3:07 left. St. Thomas up by 12. Dahl has cut into it. A 6-0 run here. Ashton with the basketball. He's swinging it over. This is 10 trying to go to the rack. But Klein-Peter shuts that lane down. There's Ashton, turnaround jumper. Soft one off the mark, no good. And it is Doyle's basketball.
I tell you, you can see Coach Goff going right to his players right there, Deacon. I think he's upset that they settled for a shot there. There is no shot clock, so they can continue to work it around. I think they got impatient and settled for a shot, and Doyle will have a chance to cut this down to a 10, maybe a 9-point lead on this possession.
2:47. Doyle has done a 6-0 run, and they cut the lead to 45-33 to stay in good distance. Once again, thanks so much to Robbie and Donna Miller of PJ's Coffee, 3 locations in Hammond, Thomas Street, University Avenue, and North Oaks Hospital. Much more than coffee. Your breakfast sandwiches, egg salad sandwiches, great choice during Lent. And grab a Go Po' Boys made fresh daily with Shiseishi ham, turkey, and cheese. Also, H. Rocker Electric. They've been in business for a very long time, since 1946, serving the Gulf South with commercial, industrial, and oil and gas electrical contractor. The Rocker family, proud supporters of St. Thomas Aquinas basketball. 2:40 left to play in the third. Doyle, boy, could be a big shot here. Off the mark and no good. And a jump ball. I tell you what, in the last 4 minutes, Allen, Doyle has really taken control of this game to cut into it. A 6-0 run. They cut it to 12. That 3-ball would have really got this visiting crowd really fired up.
I think if you're the coaching staff for Doyle, what you're preaching to your kids right now is just give us a shot in the fourth quarter. Give us a chance to get to the fourth quarter and have a chance to win on the road. As a 29 seed, that's all you can really ask for.
That's all you can ask for. Shot off the mark, no good. Loose ball picked up. Nice one there. Oh, and a good job adjusting the shot right there.
Nice finish.
I can tell you what, he lost control of it, but able to push it with his other hand, and that was Gebbia. Is it Jabia or Geb?
Jebbia.
Jebbia, okay. 2:12 left, 47-33. Jebbia with a big bucket right there. St. Thomas needed that.
That was a big, change in momentum. Doyle had a chance to maybe cut it to a 9-point lead, even 10. Missed the shot near the rim, and St. Thomas turned that into a basket to stretch it back out to a 14-point lead.
The Doyle fans loud, so the St. Thomas fans. Tonight's game being brought to you by On the Run, where you can earn fuel discounts when you shop at the locations 46115 North Morrison, also 1910 South Morrison, 213 East Morrison, 3175 Highway 190 West. A Lanyard Rewards loyalty card, you can earn up to 2 cents per gallon when you purchase certain products, and inside, and 5 cents per gallon for every $20 spent. Your rewards can be redeemed at the pump immediately. Stop by one of the great locations today. Return and earn with your Lanyard Rewards loyalty card today. Some restrictions apply. Check with your local store for details. 2:12 remaining in the third. Doyle has hung around. 14-point Falcon lead, 47-33. The Falcons have committed 3 team fouls. Doyle just 1. Possession arrow in favor of the Falcons. Doyle possesses the basketball. Losing the handle on it there, but able to pick it up.
This tight defense St. Thomas plays, it really just, it starts to wear on the opponent, Deke. The ball kind of gets a little looser out there away from their bodies as Klein-Peter, who was so good earlier with the basketball, he's turned the ball over a few times here in the second half.
So Doyle retains possession. Good inbound defense that time by Richardson for St. Thomas. Kind of had to look forward at his opponent he was sticking and also kind of guard backwards. Did a good job there. Nice pass inside. Good shot. Good shot. Boy, there's Bill. That's impressive. Under pressure.
Back comes St. Thomas forcing the issue, Deke.
What goes on here? And that's a judgment call, because when it's a loose ball like that, either way, but the official felt St. Thomas had more of control of possession of the basketball right there. Much of the displeasement of the Doyle fans.
Yeah, the Doyle sideline didn't like that one.
Obviously.
It was really bang bang though. I'm with you, Deke. I'm not really sure, what the proper call was, but you're right. It was a judgment call. The official thought that Doyle had more of the St. Thomas player than St. Thomas had of the Doyle player. Nice play.
The back door was open, and number 15, Drummond, went right through it for the bucket. Nice jack by number 5. Look at the dive for the loose ball. 13 calling a timeout. Oh, Coach Goff with an excellent move right there. Give it up for the jack. Number 5, Richardson, and then Brumfield diving on the floor like it's Game 7 of the '94 Finals with the Knicks and the Rockets. And Coach Goff playing the role of Rudy J. Tom Jonovich calling the timeout. That's heads-up basketball right there, Alan.
Well, Deke, a lot of people in this area will often say, hey, why is St. Thomas so good every year? It's because of plays like that. Those kids want to be in this type of situation. They're going to make that play, diving on the floor, getting the loose ball, because that's a big possession in the basketball game. Now St. Thomas has a chance to make it a 16, maybe a 17-point lead, when Doyle actually had some of the momentum, was trying to get back in this one.
They did indeed. 49-35, that you're going to see a lot of games played across the state of Louisiana tonight, but that one right there is excellent hustle by the Falcons. And heads up by Coach Goff calling a timeout to maintain that possession. Ashton with the basketball. Over to Drummond. The Falcons working a little clock here. Probably going to try and pick that open area, Alan, what they've been able to do working that basketball.
They're going to swing it around the perimeter in no hurry. They're going to be patient here with under a minute to play here in the third quarter with a 14-point lead. No shot clock. They could possibly run the clock out here.
Nice job by Haynes, and Haynes going to be called for the walk. But I think he knew he was getting ready to take one too many steps, and he tried to get rid of the basketball. But just a step late.
Break there for Doyle. They get the basketball back with an extra possession here. Nice hands.
And Drummond called.
They're out of control.
With the charge, yeah. Got to be in control. Jacob Drummond, the sophomore, did the right thing by giving up the ball, but just made too much contact prior to the pass, and that's why it was called a charge. And St. Thomas is definitely a motion team, Alan, because they've only gone off the blocks a couple of times. They passed the ball down low.
Well, Deacon, as long as I've followed St. Thomas basketball, they really have not had a true post player. So this is the offense that they run here at St. Thomas with a lot of guards, a lot of cutting, a lot of slashing, trying to get to the rim. Game getting pretty physical now.
Yep. Bell off the mark. So St. Thomas trying to work it for one shot. Up by 14, waning moments of the third. Drummond with the basketball, passes it out. Richardson has possession.
They're going to clear it out for him here, Deke. Let him go one-on-one.
A little bit physical. Well, that's not a bad foul for Doyle, though. It's not shooting. That was only 2 team fouls prior to that. That's on the third. That's a good foul, really, if you think about it. Spotting up for the long ball, off the mark, and no good. That's the end of 3. It's St. Thomas 49, Doyle 35. Back with the fourth quarter after this timeout. All right, getting set to start the fourth quarter. And Doyle's going to need a strong run to get back in this one down 14, Allen.
You're absolutely right. You know, for Doyle to get back in this ballgame, they're going to get some stops, but St. Thomas is going to be in no hurry, and they're probably going to have to put him at the foul line, Deacon. St. Thomas is going to have to miss some free throws.
Yep. Like you said, they're going to have to play well, and they're going to need some help from St. Thomas. Nice shot. Richardson has been playing extremely well tonight. Extremely well. Off the dribble, down in the post. He's a complete player.
Even with a 16-point lead, Deke, St. Thomas is not going to back off the defensive intensity. Now, I will tell you this, Deke, that's the 6th foul on St. Thomas. So from here on out, Doyle will be at the foul line. So they're going to have to knock down some free throws.
Yeah, and that's why Coach Errol Goff was so frustrated. You don't want to commit that foul. So Doyle down 16, 51-35 with 7:34 left to play. Bell shots off the mark, rebounded by Richardson.
Now St. Thomas will slow it down, Deke, and just try to work a lot of clock here, shorten this game, shorten the possessions.
Yeah, when you get in that deep, you got to take it.
Yeah. Right on cue, huh? I said they were going to work some clock and took a pretty quick shot.
Got to take that shot. Spoga Fitness of Hammond, Mr. Jeff Day and all of his staff doing a great job training some former greats that have gone on to play in the National Football League, win national championships in all sports. Mental fitness, nutrition, health and wellness. Spoga Fitness in downtown Hammond. I was saying, Alan, when you look at the sponsors we got people on that are in law enforcement. We got the sheriff, we got the district attorney, we got the man that can take care of our taxes. We got lawyers. We've got the coffee house. We've got gas station. Let's see, we got the eye doctor. We got orthopedics and sports medicine. I mean,
and you can get fit.
Man, we get fit. I mean, we get vehicles. I mean, we got it made. Spot up three, off the mark, no good. And now St. Thomas with an opportunity, and this is by far their largest lead, 56-35, and the Falcons have gone up by 21.
Doyle has only scored 21 points since the first quarter, Deke, and that's what they do. They defend you the whole game. Yep. So you're going to have to defend them to be able to stay in the ball game, and they can go on these type of runs and stretch it out and run you out the building.
Yep, and I can tell you what, though, that's a lot of time left, but it's going to be an uphill climb for Doyle, obviously. But what we've seen tonight, we've seen some senior players that have come in and played extremely well, that being Cortez Bell and Cody Sibley. The only two seniors on this roster, though, when you look at what Klein Peter has done, when you also look at what Kyle Lewis has done off the bench, Akeem Bell, we've also seen Tyler Dawsey. Doyle and St. Thomas are going to be going at it for quite a while, Alan.
I've been very impressed with freshman Akeem Bell. He's been very active and has not been intimidated and not backed down in this ballgame. Still loud in here.
Huh?
It's still loud in here.
Very loud, Alan. Last night, had the gym kind of to myself on this side, although Lake Providence did bring a good crowd. But I've had to stretch my tonsils a little bit this evening. Shots off the mark, no good from Klein Peter. And now you got to wonder, is this the possession where St. Thomas tries to really work some clock? And you know, the way they pass the ball so well, Alan, they can just, as soon as somebody jams up on them, they can just swing it back around. This is an excellent pass in basketball. And then, of course, they're running the motion the whole time, and they know when the backdoor cutter is there, they go with that one.
They're going to call an offensive foul that time on a cutter for St. Thomas. So a break for Doyle.
So Brumfield picks up his fourth. He goes out, and number 20, Ralph Haynes, checks in. That's the 7th team foul committed by the Falcons to only 5 of Doyle. Doyle also has the possession arrow in their favor. Shooting foul that time, and that will be called on Kalen Richardson. And number 2, Cody Sibley, has had a nice game tonight. Did a good job in the first half creating his shot. Kind of creating his shot and then half posting up a little bit. Fall away a couple of times. Good basketball player. Both shots good.
19-point lead for St. Thomas with 6 minutes to play.
And Cody Sibley, like a senior should, playing hard to the very end. 56-37. St. Thomas with a comfortable lead here.
Doyle's going to have to get in that hip pocket and try to make something happen, and there you go. Oh, trip.
Yeah.
I tell you what happened there. He got scared. I mean, I hate to sound like that, but he did. He got scared.
I think he thought the defender was getting ready to come over the top. He tried to stop, and then, of course, lost possession and one too many steps. So 5:30 remaining. St. Thomas looks like they're on their way to the second round of the playoffs, Allen, in which, depending on the seeds, they could be at home again on Friday night.
Hey, Dig, I'll just tell you a funny story. I was at a St. Thomas football game this year on a Thursday night. St. Thomas was playing Pope John Paul. We were off because we were going to do the show on the next night on Friday night. Had a chance to go watch them play football. I saw Coach Goff. I said, Coach, how you going to be this year? He said, I don't know. They're about to be 24-5 to the 4 seed.
Not too bad.
I tell you, and you look at this team
the
and
teams
how
they lost to.
Look at how they reload. 2 years ago, they had Jeverill Jackson who went on and took his playing skills to Murray State. And a year ago, they lost Stephen Ronkowski, who's playing at UL Lafayette. Well, now here they are again, about to win their 24th game of the year and make another run into the state.
Yeah, man, let me tell you something. Right now, although Louisiana Tech is playing good basketball, there's not a team in Louisiana. Everybody in Louisiana wishes they had a program like Murray State. I can tell you that right now. Murray State is big time. That's big time basketball. 58-37. St. Thomas with a comfortable cushion here, up 21. 5 minutes remaining. And the officials still keeping it close to the vest, Allen, because when you get in a game like this and one team's further ahead, emotions are running high, and everyone lose control of the game.
You're right. It's a 21-point lead. Doyle's going to need something crazy to happen, but the dangerous part here is if you're going to get back in the ballgame, you probably got to start pressing on the defensive end, and that's danger time for Doyle because St. Thomas is so good at beating the press and he get easy baskets in transition.
So 58-38. St. Thomas now probably just going to try and work this basketball. But again, if they see something wide open, they have the green light to take it.
What they do is they get such good spacing on the offensive end. You can really see it right there on your television. Look at the spacing. It opens up the alley for those cuts.
If they take a 60% shot on average, Allen, right here, they'll probably go for the 75 or higher percentage shot when you're trying to run out the clock here. Team that shoots a real high percentage shot.
And you know, Duke, I think this is one thing that kind of pops up in high school basketball is it time to maybe go to a shot clock in high school basketball? I mean, I don't know how that would work, but
I mean, hell, if you just went to a minute, it'd be good.
Right. I mean, you look at the end of this game.
It's better than anything.
Technically, they could run the clock all the way out.
Yes, they could. I saw Parkview Baptist one time in the late 90s when they were having such good success take 5 minutes off on one possession.
But that shouldn't happen.
No. But I guess on the other flip side, the other team couldn't stop them.
Here they come.
They got numbers. And number 5 going to the rack. Richardson. And St. Thomas has completely blown this thing open now, 62-38.
Another turnover. I would expect Coach Goff to start emptying the bench here.
Yeah, I would imagine he is. Give some young guys some valuable minutes. I mean, some kids that are playing in varsity experience, you can give them some time. That would be an awful lot.
There's still about 3.5 minutes to play here in this ball game. Dick, I'm gonna tell you.
Talk about this is a good district, Allen. But to give you an idea how tough that New Orleans area district is, you got Newman is the #1 seed, and John Curtis and Riverside are also top 5 seeds, all in the same district. Unbelievable. All three of those teams can win a state championship.
There's no doubt. And I mean, obviously you look at Newman and what they've done. They're having a fantastic year, but still the class of that district is Riverside and John Curtis. And for St. Thomas and Newman, they're the 1 and 4 seeds. They missed Riverside and Curtis. They're on the other side of the bracket, so both those teams were smiling when the brackets came out.
Cody Klein, Peter, playing to the very end, showing a lot of heart tonight with that 3-ball right there. Here's Bell going to the rack. Had a good look, and now you're going to see Coach Kennedy going to empty his bench and put some youngsters in.
Hey, Deke, I'll tell you, too, about the St. Thomas basketball program. I'll tell you why they're good every year. I was here not that long ago, and there was a JV game going on, and Coach Goff was coaching just as hard in that JV game as he has here tonight. He develops those younger players here for St. Thomas.
So now Will Rogers checks in along with Kyle Lewis, Akeem Bell, also James Thibodeau in the ball game for Doyle, as Coach Kennedy is going to kind of get his youngsters some playing time. And Thibodeau with the hands on the ball. Good job right there. And no shame here. Coach Kennedy's ball club has had a good season without question. Made it to the postseason. Playing one of the top 4 seeds. And tonight, hey, look, when it's all said and done, St. Thomas wore them down. They did what they were supposed to do. But Coach Kennedy could come and play in here 20 more times, and he couldn't ask for a better start than his team had tonight. I mean, Doyle really had a great start to this ball game.
If you remember, this was a 14-14 game at the end of the first quarter, and Doyle actually led the first quarter 14-10.
Nice 3-ball right there. Landon Turo. St. Thomas still up 20, 64-44. Now Coach Goff will probably come unglued if they take a shot here. He wants them at least take, I'd say, 30, 40 seconds off the clock.
He's still coaching as hard as he did at the beginning of the game, Deke.
Nice job that time.
He walked.
Yep. There's a Bell spotting up for a 3. Just off the mark, that's over the back. But the youngsters for Doyle taking advantage.
They're scrapping, baby.
Yeah, they scrapping. Making the most of their playing time. That's what they're supposed to do.
Here come the young players for St. Thomas. About to check in the ball game as well. Massive substitution on both sides.
Thanks so much to Ross Downing Chevrolet. Also, Dr. Brett Chasson and the Cypress Point Surgical Hospital. Tangipahoa Parish Assessor Junior Matthew. The Tobler Company. CrossFit Fitness and Mr. Brad McKee here in Hammond. Ross Downing Chevrolet, Mr. Dudley Downing, and all his great staff. The McShann Law Firm, Richard McShann, attorney at law. Florida Parish Banks, Dr. Michael Fagioni, on the run. PJ's Coffee with 3 locations in Hammond and now in the North Oaks Hospital. Florida Parish's Bank, Mr. Ronnie Figurine and all the great staff at all their branches. The official bank of the Big Chief, I might add, where I'm practicing more deposits than withdrawals. And, of course, the Tobler Company, District Attorney Scott Perilou, and certainly we'd like to thank Cash, Coudrain, and Sandage Law Firm, proud supporters of STA Athletics. You can like them and follow them on Facebook. And also tonight, we would like to thank Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Daniel Edwards. Under 1 minute left to play.
That's one thing about this area. They will certainly rally behind their community schools. And
oh, yeah, they were shocked that nobody's been covering these games all night long. Now, Butch Lee's telling me everybody wants to do the games now. I guess it's monkeys see monkeys do.
That's correct.
They see me monkeying around, so they want to follow my lead.
Looks like it's going to be a 20-point victory for St. Thomas. Now moving on to the second round.
Oh, Coach Goff is not real happy with number 15. Uh-oh. Always the song that gets on your nerves the most.
Na.
Goodbye.
And I see some car keys over there too. I'll tell
Sadly
you.
enough, in Adam Waddell's days, he was on the opposite end of that song far too many times.
Quite a few times. I'll tell you, Dick, talking about high school basketball, when I was living in Alexandria, I had a chance to go to some Peabody games. If you never knew a high school basketball game at Peabody, it's
Peabody
unbelievable.
is powerful, boy.
I tell you, look, what they do.
That's a power in state basketball.
Deke, what they do at the end of the game is whenever it's in down, when it's no longer in down, they win. The entire stands take their keys out and start shaking them, and they say, "Take your stuff and leave."
Oh yeah.
And get on the other team. It's really right by
Alan, basketball, like I said, the ambiance of a gym, the crowd, the noise, the greatest cheer I ever heard. This is no lie. At Austin P University, it's in Tennessee, named after one of the governors that was there, Austin P. Their mascot is the Governors. He was one of the great players in college basketball, but certainly in the state of Tennessee. His name was Fly Williams. And the home crowd would say, "The fly is open, let's go P." Austin P. That's no lie, baby. I can tell you that was a great basketball cheer. We're going deep in the playbook tonight. So, oh Lord have mercy. Come on now, man. Don't pick on the littlest guy on the court, number 10. Will Rogers, straight out of an old Western, slung number, what was that?
Bryce Ferrara.
Yeah, Bryce Ferrara. Come on.
Hey, Dave, but let me tell you something. He's the happiest guy in the gym right now. He gets to step to the
chance
line
to
and shoot some
score,
free throws.
Well, come on, number 10. Come on, man. You got to cool off now. So he gets a bucket. So credit Will Rogers, he didn't let it rattle him. He got 2. And that is the end of the contest. So tonight's game goes to the St. Thomas Aquinas Falcons, 64-46. Alan, we'll get your final thoughts as the STA Falcons, as expected, move on to the second round.
Well, Deke, when it gets this time of the year, St. Thomas is very hard to beat, especially right here at home. I expect them to make a very deep run, and you can expect them to be playing in the semifinals right there at the University Center. Now, I know they have some obstacles in their way. I know Vail Platte is a very good team that's on their side of the bracket, but I would be shocked if it's not Newman and St. Thomas in the semifinals right there at the University Center in Hammond.
Oh, and that was, you talk about a huge crowd. Woo. Last year, one of the 4A semifinals was Eau Perry Walker and St. Augustine.
Unreal.
It was like Uptown New Orleans was here.
Well, Dick, I made the comment at the beginning of the broadcast. I'm going to make it again. For my money, Errol Goff, the best high school basketball coach in the state of Louisiana, year in and year out, he gets the most out of his team. And what they do so well is they defend you the entire game. That's why they're always in the ball game.
Thanks again to Mr. Jose Becerra, principal, Coach Errol Goff, and everybody here at St. Thomas Aquinas, and all of our wonderful sponsors. Again, folks, didn't know it wasn't much coverage for the local teams this year, but Butch Lee and I and Alan have made a pact next year. As long as I got some downtime, we will cover some high school basketball. For Alan Waddell and Butch Lee, I'm Deke Bellevue. It's a final, St. Thomas 64, Doyle 46. You've been watching high school basketball here on WSTY.